Yes Have Some podcast is excited to tell our listeners about Dr. Pepper and the brand new collectible cans from Spider-Man Far From Home. Collectors, it's time to make that decision. Are you going to drink these Dr. Peppers or are you going to leave them mint in package? Either way, you got to collect all 5 cans available now, including the new limited time flavor Dr. Pepper Dark Berry, featuring Mysterio. Get your hands on all 5 of the new Spider-Man Far From Home cans from Dr. Pepper, available at Walmart.
Jurassic Park, now swinging at PS7.
Ecto goggles with Ecto Popper, Neutrona Blaster, and Water Zapper, each sold separately.
From the corner penthouse of Spook Central, all the way to Star Killer Base, this is Yes Have Some podcast.
Do I? Yes, have some. Yes, have some.
You know, they told me you people were conceited douchebags.
The only place in the multiverse where you can love the book, hate the movie, but still buy all the toys.
I'm afraid you're just too darn loud.
I'm not looking for a friend. I'm looking for a Jedi Master.
What?
Please remember to hold on to your butts and get ready to get stressed. With your hosts, Craig Goldberg, Abigail Gardner, and Jacob Walsh.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 156 of Yes Have Some podcast. My name is Craig Goldberg, and I am happy to announce for the 156th time. This is what I'm going to do every week. I did this last week, and I'm going to do it.
I love it.
You like it?
Yeah, if it works once, do it every time.
I don't know if it worked last week. No one has messaged me and said, hey, man, that worked.
Hey, man, strong open.
The thing where you talked about what episode it was and all that worked.
Whew.
Anyways. Welcome.
Keep doing that.
Keep doing that, man. That's your bread and butter.
That's my favorite part.
Get out the knife and spread that shit all over.
Ew.
I want some butter.
Yeah, I want like a cracker.
Just craving butter. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yes Have Some podcast. I already did that part. Abigail Gardner, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Jacob Walsh.
I'm good.
Do you guys like your names?
Thank you. I always feel like it's hard to say Walsh. It's kind of hard for me to say Walsh. And it's my name.
Walsh. What do you say? Welsh?
Walsh. Well, no, it's Walsh, but I feel like I have a hard time saying that. I feel like I have to. It almost Walsh. I have to work at it.
Walsh. I like it. It's got a good mouth feel. I feel weird after saying that.
What's a good mouth feel?
I think it's used to describe food, like texture, like it has good mouthfeel. I think. I hope that's where it comes from.
I like the idea.
I'm thinking about changing it to Day Lewis.
Oh, okay.
Jacob Day Lewis?
I'm for it.
Jacob Day Lewis.
I like that.
See how easily that rolls off the tongue, Jacob Day Lewis?
I'm thinking about changing my name to Finn Wolfhard.
Do you understand?
If I can get a ticket to Calgary.
That's cool.
Dude, guys, there's a new Ghostbusters movie coming out. I'm at an all-time... I don't sound like it, but I'm freaking out. I also love the idea of somebody being like, oh, I heard this podcast. They talk a lot about Ghostbusters, and they tune in and they hear Abby say, I like a good mouth feel.
Yeah.
And then just Jacob I'm going to change my last name to Day Lewis. The people are like, what the fuck is this show?
What if Daniel Day Lewis was in the new Ghostbusters?
What?
Is the villain?
Yeah.
No, what if he's a ghost? I want him to be a ghost, but I want him to be the hero.
Do we think there's okay?
Do you understand, Slimer?
Dude, I
capture your ghosts every day. That would be great.
I like that, but I also like him as a villain because I feel like he could play a good period piece, resurrected.
He would be the best. Yeah,
just from
he
a
would
Western.
be the greatest villain of all time. Yeah. Well, he is the greatest villain of all time.
You guys might know this.
Yeah.
Originally, Paul Rubens was going to play Gozer.
Yeah,
okay.
And
that would have been cool.
Yeah, he was going to be wearing a business suit. Mm-hmm. He would have been able to go to the PKE Surge prom in that suit.
Heck yeah.
More info on that.
Wait, there's an idea. Just dress like Pee-wee.
Just Pee-wee Herman suit?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Are you a god? I know you are, but what am I? Oh, God.
Wait. You should do that.
I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? I hate myself.
No.
All right, here we go.
I like it.
We're going to be talking a lot about PKE Surge and all the events surrounding that in the next couple of weeks and months because Dragon Con is coming up and it is one of our favorite times of the year. I know I'm excited, but we got a lot of ground to cover and we'll have plenty of time for that.
Don't get me started on prom outfits because I'll talk a lot about prom.
Well, we got a PKE Surge prom coming up. It's a Ghostbusters themed prom event. And I think I figured out what I'm going to do. Abby has all of her stuff already somehow.
I'm ready. I'm ready for the parade.
For the parade? You're wearing that?
I might wear it in the parade. We'll
Craig,
see.
I think we should just skip Ghostbusters completely and just show up dressed like Harry and Lloyd from the ball.
Yeah, if I get to smack you in the back of the legs with a cane, I'll do it. Hey, no.
That's a good idea.
Let's just do Harry and Lloyd, but put Ghostbusters patches on the arms.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea.
I've been trying to think of something, and so far I've been like, I'm probably just going to wear normal clothes to this thing.
No, dude. You got to get the Dumb and Dumber suit.
At least wear a top hat. Okay, cool.
Clip-on tie.
I wanted to talk about this. So we did a really cool thing this week. We've been promoting Have Some group therapy for so long, and most of our listeners are in there. Some of you still aren't. But we are doing our first ever run of enamel pins. And
boy, are they cute.
They're very cute. If you haven't seen them, we posted them on social media, but they are based on the classic Universal Studios Florida design for Have Some podcast. People seem to really like these a lot. The reaction was strong. I would say it was a strong reaction. So we did a run of pins. We opened it up exclusively to members of Have Some group therapy on Facebook, and they sold out in like an hour. We sold out of our pins. So,
oh wow!
I just want to thank everybody.
Yeah.
From the bottom of our black dark hearts, because we're stressed out people.
That was a good voice. Who was that?
That was just stressed out, Craig.
I liked it.
It was Reagan from The Exorcist. Have you heard of this?
No, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
No. I wanted to thank everybody.
Yeah, no, that was very cool. I imagine that we'll be on Shark Tank soon, and we'll be sharing the story of how all of our pins sold out quickly. No, that probably not, but it was very cool to have things sell out.
We didn't invent pins. We're just
as
selling
a fan
pins.
of Shark Tank. It felt good.
Hey, who designed that for us?
I'm gonna get his name.
Let's get his name
right now. But real quick, I wanted to let everybody know that if you missed out on the pin, there is going to be a limited supply available in a couple of weeks. We will put them on the Have Some store at YesHaveSomeShop.com. I don't know what it is. It's one of those.
YHSpodcast.com has the shop.
Yeah, do that. No, there'll be a limited amount available, and then once they're gone, they're gone. Maybe we'll do a variant in the future or something, but this initial run of 50 is going to be donezo. So thank you so much to everybody in group therapy who was able to take advantage of that. We didn't announce it. We kind of did like a surprise drop. It was like a Mondo kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
I love the pin, and I'm really, really happy with the design. I do want to give credit to the guy who did do the design. Now, this was great. Everybody who saw our video at Ghost Core that we did, there was a moment where we pointed out this patch from Florida that looked like the Universal Studios patch, and I thought that was like the Florida Ghostbusters, but it turns out this guy just does Universal inspired designs, and that's just a Ghostbusters patch that says Florida.
He's like an artist that is his thing.
That's his thing.
You found him, so
I found him.
I'm hoping you find him again in your DMs so that we can give him credit.
Well, I want everybody to go check out his page on Facebook. It's Designing with Eric. Designing spelled like Disney. DISIGNING. Designing with Eric. Find him on Facebook. He does great work. He's got a TeePublic shop with some really cool like Jaws and King Kong inspired stuff. And he did our pin design. And really from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. We can't tell everybody how much we appreciate you guys supporting YHS, buying the pin, and then everybody will have them in time for Dragon Con. Wear it loud and proud, and people will be like, whoa, where'd you get that? And you'll be like, sorry, it is sold out.
Sold out.
Thank you, everybody. And I'm not going to lie, I can't wait to get one for myself.
Heck yeah, dude. I'm looking at our store right now. I want to get one put on a beanie. You can get it on a t-shirt. I'd love to get that on one of my little tank tops.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm into it.
Check out YesHaveSomeShop.com for shirts and coffee mugs and things like that. And like I said, we will have a limited amount of the pins available in a couple of weeks. All right, cool. Next up, more housekeeping. I wanted to go ahead and plug Patreon, which we always do, but we have had some new patrons join. And as you know, once you join up on Patreon, you get that special YHS shout out. And we really appreciate it. So all of these people have joined Patreon.
Say my name.
That's what they did. And over the last couple months and the lead up to FanFest, and we've been getting a lot of good feedback on our bonus episodes. If you're not a member, head over to patreon.com/yeshavesome. Sign up for $5. You get access to the entire archive. And you get those bonus episodes every month. All right. Why are you rolling your eyes at me?
Oh, I'm not.
Because it's such a good deal?
Yes. It was such a good deal that I coughed and spat my water out all over my glasses and I was wiping them off. And that's why I was rolling my eyes at you.
That's a good deal.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you to our most recent patrons.
That's all true.
First up, we've got Sam Meredith. Now, we might have thanked Sam once before, but we met Sam at Ghostbusters Fan Fest. He was... just him and his whole crew. Those were awesome dudes. They came in all the way from the UK.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed meeting those guys. So thank you to Sam, Christopher Moon, Zach Crago, Matt Harrelson, Lee FW, Adam. No last name.
Straight up Adam.
Thanks,
Straight
Adam.
up Adam.
No chaser.
Straight up Adam.
Straight up Adam.
Frankie Van Hooser, Chris and Angelique DeLiva, who are very good friends.
Dude, they cat sit for us. I love them.
And of course, all the way from the internet, AJ Quick.
Wow.
AJ,
That's
cool.
like a big deal. Way to go, guys.
If you don't know who AJ
Very
Quick
cool.
is.
Very, very cool.
So thank you guys. Your support is absolutely incredible. We honestly couldn't do it without the support of all of our listeners and friends, because we consider everybody friends. Not like if you call us and your car's broken down, like I think I'd help most of these people out. Depending on where they work.
If I'm nearby.
For sure.
If I'm not at work.
If I'm within a 1 mile radius and I have nothing else going on.
Yeah.
I like how Abby immediately started like, yeah, if I'm nearby, if I'm not at work, if there's not a cat near me, if I'm not, like it just gets more and
So
more.
never?
Yeah.
We appreciate it. We appreciate everybody who bought the pins. We appreciate all of the people who joined up on Patreon. And listen, we're just getting Patreon, not Patreon. You are patrons. We are just getting started. We're going to be doing more limited merch, more bonus content for the Patreon. I mean, let's face it. We are about a year out from a movie we've all been waiting for the last 30 years. So expect a chaotic, insane, stressful run up to Ghostbusters 2020, hand in hand with Yes Have Some podcast. That's what I want to say.
We're gonna hold your hand through it because I need to hold someone's
If we're
hand.
close by.
Okay, you're right. And if there's not a cat already in my hand, I'll hold your hand.
See, you're doing it.
Doing it.
You're doing it.
I'm holding hands. I'm shaking babies. That's not. You should take that out.
I'm not taking that. out.
Okay. I don't know.
Leaving it in.
You kiss babies. You don't shake
You
them.
kiss them. God, I always forget.
You'd be such a bad
I'm a great
politician.
nanny. I'm a better podcaster than I am a babysitter. God, what's going on?
You just want to keep talking?
I'm just gonna keep going. No, I'm done. That was my stand-up.
Jake, what's up, man? Before we get going, we just did a bonus episode and we talked a little bit about Maddie Collector, but you and I have been like down this Maddie Collector rabbit hole, rebuying or buying for the first time some of the figures we missed out on.
Well, something that we've been talking about is that I have always had I bought a lot of the Maddie Collector stuff when it came out. I got the subscription, and I have kept all of it. I sold my ecto goggles and I sold the thrower because it was broken. It showed up broken. But I kept everything else. I have all the figures except for 2 figures, and we already mentioned this on the Patreon episode, but it's worth going over again. I've always just been missing like 2 figures, but have always kind of been like, one day I'll get them. And now that you've been collecting them and sending me pictures every day of new Maddie Collector figures, I'm like, well, fuck, I guess I should just jump in and buy those 2 figures. So I actually bought one of them today, and I have a couple offers on the other one. So hopefully I'll have that set complete.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
What are you missing? Like, how many of you've bought? Like, you've been buying a lot of them. Like, how many have you?
I mean, I've been getting good deals though, man. Like somebody commented on, because I put a picture in our Instagram stories of some of the deals I've been getting, and somebody commented, I don't remember who it was, I'm sorry, that we should do an episode where we break down like our best practices for eBay. I don't know if we could get a whole episode out of that, but it might be fun to Abby just wrote me a note that's really funny. I'm gonna read what it says in a second. It might be fun because like there is strategy when it comes to eBay, like saving searches, knowing what you're looking for, knowing what completed prices are. Maybe we'll have to do that one week where we have nothing else to talk about, where we talk about.
So after Ghostbusters 2020.
Yeah, a year and a half from now, we're gonna break down just how eBay works.
Yeah.
No, but it is. I mean, if you're an eager person, it can be really easy to just buy the first thing you see. But if you do a little research, do some searching, and have a little patience, you can get a pretty good deal. I don't know why I should patience.
What are you guys laughing at over there?
Dude is Sean Connery.
Now she's laughing at me. Okay,
all right.
So Abby wrote on a note. This is what it says verbatim. You read this.
No, you.
It says, "Can we?"
I didn't finish writing the question. All it says is, "Can we talk about the stinky?" Which I was referencing the Maddie collector figures that Craig recently got in the mail. I didn't know who you received them from. That's why I was wondering if we could talk about them, because I didn't know if it was a listener.
It was
not a listener. They all stunk. They were stinky, stinky figures. And Craig
I want to hear. Go ahead. Sorry.
We had no.
This episode is officially called "Can we talk about the stinky?"
I was gonna say the stinky figures ?
I ordered. This was the set of the re-release figures when Answer the Call came out. The 4 Ghostbusters with the removable packs and the Build a No Ghost is what Abigail is referencing. I ordered most of the stuff I've been ordering in package and just opening it, but I found a good deal on these 4 loose. I bought them and they reeked of cigarette smoke. It was just built into the.
Yeah, I tried to act like it wasn't a big deal, and you put them inside of your the DTOF, and it just was like
Every time you open the DTOF, it just smells like somebody's hiding a habit in there.
Dude,
it sounds like Baby Herman from Roger Rabbit is in there. I open it, he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah, it was gross. I was like, it's gonna permeate all the other figures that you have that don't think so.
I did some research on getting the smell out, and I was able to remove it for the most part. Did a little.
You did a lot of stuff. I came home at one point, and there was a Raisin Bran box that was stuffed full of dryer sheets and figures, and I was like, I thought it was full of cereal, but
2 scoops of Maddie Collector figures in every box.
Yeah.
No.
You were successful, though. You gave it a good soak with some detergent.
So anybody who listens to the Major Wrestling Figure podcast, which is hosted by Zach Ryder, I almost said Zach Myers, who was on our show, they talk about fig baths. Sometimes you got to soak those figures in some soap and water to clean them up. And so that's what I did. I soaked them in hot water and soap with baking soda, and then I dried them out and put them in a cardboard box, which was a Raisin Bran box, with dryer sheets overnight. And now they smell like dryer sheets and cigarette smoke. But it's
so the laundromat.
It's driving me a little crazy, but it's fine.
That's amazing. Would you like to answer my question?
What am I missing?
Wait, how many? How many have you gotten so far? Like, what are you missing? What do you got?
Okay, so I had about 5 of them. There's 21 or 22 total, so I'm only missing. Well, I was missing 3: Courtroom Ray, Dana as Zool, and
pretty sure there's 20.
Whatever the number is, yeah. I was missing Courtroom Ray, Zool, and Rookie. The figure Rookie, not the person. Although it'd be funny if it showed up in a package and it was that guy Rookie.
You just have a DTOF with Rookie.
And shout out to Rookie from the Alabama Ghostbusters, who said he was listening to YHS the other day. He posted on Instagram that he was listening to us for an entire car ride. I was like, that's weird. We're listening to you. Okay, so Rookie and a DTOF. No. Now I have the other two coming. So all I'm missing is Zool, and I'm waiting to kind of like snag a good deal on it. That was a Comic-Con exclusive. It's a little bit more on the pricey side, so I'm just waiting till I can find a best offer and take advantage of somebody who just is wanting to get rid of it.
Yep.
If anybody out there has a Zool, go ahead and send her my way for free, preferably.
I want to talk about. I mentioned this on the Patreon episode, but I just want to. I need Mattel to know how annoyed I am about something.
Okay.
This is something me and you. We were talking about this earlier, and
this is our third time today talking about this.
Yeah, third time, and it's not going to be the last. I had the subscription service for this. I really like all these figures and everything. I don't really have anything to complain about figure-wise, but part of the deal with the subscription service was that if you subscribed, you would get like a special edition Slimer figure. It came just in a plastic bag. It's, basically the same as the Slimer that comes with one of the other figures, but it was a glow in the dark, right?
Yeah, it glows.
Mm-hmm.
Glows in the dark. I never received mine, Mattel. I definitely had a subscription for basically the entire run. Never received my Slimer. Just never received it. So that's also something I'm going to have to turn around and buy, which I shouldn't have to. I should rightfully own one. But, thanks, guys.
Talk to Wizard World.
Talk to Wizard World. Okay, so moving on. So one.
No, and another thing. No, I'm just kidding.
And another thing. I do want to thank. God, this is the episode where we're thankful.
Yeah.
But I am thankful. I want to have a couple more shout outs. Adam Sloman, who has sent us some stuff in the past. He sent us a really cool Jurassic Park lapel pin. It says Jeff Goldblum instead of Jurassic Park.
Very cool.
Cool.
Very cool. And then also new listener, Jim Mariotto, who's also in group therapy. We met him out at FanFest. He reminded me that we met him. He came up to us and talked to us, and very nice guy. He sent me he was also collecting the Matty Collector figures and was like, hey, I've got some extras. Here's my list. Do you need any of this? The only thing I needed was the pink ghost that comes with, I think it's called the Theater Ghost, that comes with Slime Blower Ray. And
cool.
He had that and Slime Blower Ray, and he's just sending them to me for free.
Hell yes.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool. It's also very cool because he was like, hey, man, there's no name tags on the Slime Blower figures, so you just pop that head off, put a Venkman on there, boom, Slime Blower Venkman.
Oh, wow. That's a good idea.
So if anybody has a spare Venkman head, send that to me.
Hey, this, I have to say, this is completely off topic. This is completely off topic. But is anybody super jealous and almost annoyed at the fact that Andrew Bayless is still on his trip?
Oh, it's not fair.
He's having the best fucking time of his life, and I'm not in California anymore, and I keep seeing his pictures, and I'm like, God, he's still on his trip.
God.
I want to still be on my trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when he goes
having a good
home,
time.
he
He's
lives
having a
in
good time.
Australia, so he's still on a trip.
He's still on
He's
vacation.
going on another trip.
Andrew Bayless
for him.
is a member of Group Therapy and a Ghostbusters fan who's a listener of the show, and he's been on vacation for the last month.
It's too much.
And he saw the Mrs. Doubtfire house.
That's great. I'm gonna.
He's seeing He's seeing it all. He's doing it all.
He did more
doing
houses
it
than
all.
us. We're gonna have to beat his record. This is the episode where we get very competitive.
Yeah, no, we do not congratulate you on your long vacation.
No, we will do
We
better.
resent you. We'll have a better vacation.
Our vacation you.
Okay. So, last thank you / shout out / something to talk about before we actually get into the episode here. I wanted to go ahead and let everybody know about a really cool Facebook group that's kind of a growing community. They're out at FanFest and they're doing some really cool stuff. The group is called The Containment Unit. We collect spores, molds, and Ghostbusters autographs. It's run by Matt Sanders is his name, down in Orlando. And, the other guy's name, I think it's Tom Henry.
Joining it right now.
Yes, it's great.
Oh wait, I gotta answer questions.
Yes, yeah. Tom Henry, Matt Sanders, and they're listeners of the show. They're also in group therapy, and what it is it's a Ghostbusters autograph collecting group, and these guys are really knowledgeable. They know their stuff, and they're really good about like helping out people with like. Questions about autographs. People show off their pieces they're working on. And the cool thing is that it's all Ghostbusters. So I love that it's such a specific niche community. Obviously, collecting autographs and specifically Ghostbusters autographs is a big deal for us. So I want everybody to check out the Containment Unit. We collect spores, molds, and Ghostbusters. Spores. If you look up Containment Unit autographs, you'll find it on Facebook. But what they're doing is they're doing their first ever private signing with Ernie Hudson. So what it is that, Ernie Hudson does conventions and stuff. Sometimes it's $50, $60, $70 to get an autograph. They are doing private signings happen in the autograph community, and they're really cool because what it does, it allows people who might not have the opportunity to go to a convention or go to a con to get an certified authentic autograph from somebody like Ernie Hudson at a really good price. And it's better than buying it off eBay, right?
Yeah.
So they're doing
peace of mind and all that.
They're doing this. Now the deadline is July 1st. They also have 8x10s. If you don't have something that you can get signed to sign in, they're providing different options that you can choose from. And these guys are pros. You're going to get a really nice autograph from Ernie Hudson in a nice metallic red paint pen if you want. And you can get it personalized. There's different options for sizes, and they're offering any YHS listeners who want to get in on this. Just mention that you heard about it on YHS. They're going to give you $5 off, and I think the autograph is like $40 or something. So if you've never gotten a chance to meet Ernie Hudson and you want to get an authentic autograph from Ernie Hudson, who obviously is Winston Zeddemore and Ghostbusters and all sorts of other stuff like Congo, and the Crow, and Hand the Rocks to the Cradle. You can get in on it, so head over to the Containment Unit.
Yeah, I just joined. I literally just answered the 3 questions.
I'm gonna try to say it without
mostly
stumbling.
Because I'm competitive, and Jake said that he was gonna do it, and I was like, me too.
Well, I'm gonna get accepted first. So
yes.
You know what? I'm already accepted, Jake, so I won.
And thanks to Matt.
Are you?
Yes, I'm already on the page.
Fuck?
You can look 2 minutes ago at this point.
Wow.
Look at my feed.
No,
Head over to the Containment Unit and join up and get in on this Ernie Hudson signing. I'm getting in on it. I already have multiple things signed by Ernie Hudson, but like a deal's a deal. I want more.
Yeah.
Hey,
you have a flower pot signed by Ernie Hudson, maybe.
Is that a story for another time?
Another time.
All
That's
right.
a bonus episode.
So check them out, and it's really cool to see people like Matt and Tom, growing out a little community for hardcore Ghostbusters collectors. I love it. Mm-hmm. Good job.
That's a bonus episode, weirdest things we have autographed.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay. Cool.
You guys ready to talk about Child's Play?
Yes.
Let's do it. Let's talk about Child's Play.
Yeah, man.
All right. You know what I have to say about Child's Play?
What?
You are my buddy.
You're my best friend.
I don't know the song. I thought I knew it. I just forgot it already.
Okay.
Listen, if you haven't seen Child's Play, we're going to get into some spoiler territory.
We're spoiling it.
Be warned. But coming up after Child's Play, if you don't want to hear, we are going to have a YHS fuck budget. So, Child's Play. After the movie, I went to the restroom, and there was a gentleman using the restroom whistling the Buddi song.
The song?
So, if anything, they
it's
have
like You Are My Sunshine, isn't it? Like
it is kind of like that,
yeah.
Oh, it's close.
I don't know if you guys how long you stayed through the credits, but this is we're just going to skip right ahead just because we're talking about it. Mm-hmm. There is that Buddi theme is in the movie a few times, but if you sit through the credits, there is another version of it, of Chucky singing it like as full on evil Chucky, like the Chucky, not just like the happy you are. It's like a creepy version of the Buddi song, which you can also listen to on Spotify.
Okay. Very cool. Okay, so
cool. We don't care.
Cool, Jake. Cool information. No.
I actually want to stop the podcast so I can go listen to that right now.
No,
I want to know what
the podcast must go on.
Okay.
We are the self-proclaimed number one Child's Play podcast in the world.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
We are.
I feel like we've been slipping on our title.
Mm-hmm.
So right off the bat, I'm going to ask a tough question. And then I'm going to grab the computer charger because we're falling apart at the seams here while you guys pontificate.
CHUCK. Why don't you come out and play?
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. We saw Child's Play. And, Jake, I know you hate when I do this. We were all looking forward to this movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
We all saw it.
We saw it.
Where does it rank?
I hate this.
Because
I could probably do this.
Where does it rank in the Child's Play series? There has been, let's do Child's Play 1, 2, 3, Bride, Seed, Cult, Curse, Cult,
Curse, then Cult,
and then Reboot.
I love it because this in and of itself sounds like a chant or like a curse that just by
1, 2, 3, Bride, Seed, Cult, Curse.
Okay, continue.
Where does it rank? Because like we're gonna talk
Cult.
about it in depth, but for somebody who hasn't seen it, who wants to know, where does it rank?
You want me to go first? I can do
first.
this.
Yeah.
I think I got a long form talk about it. So I definitely think the original Child's Play is the best.
I agree.
Child's Play 2 is kind of a close second. It's a little silly. It's not as scary or intense as the first one. It's probably, I haven't seen it in a while. I think Child's Play 2 is still pretty far up the bar. Mm-hmm. This movie is better than all of the other sequels.
Oh, okay.
I think this movie is, first of all, this movie is very, very different from the original
sequels,
Child's
including
Play.
2 for you. You're saying it's better than?
I think it's probably, I haven't seen 2 in a long time.
Okay.
I think it's probably a better movie than 2, but 2, I almost feel the same way I feel kind of like with movies like, Jaws the Revenge or something. Like Jaws 4 is not good, but it's fun to watch. It's like more enjoyable than some of the others.
Yeah. I feel the same way about 2. I like Kyle.
It's hard to place. I think 2 is great, but if you're looking at it as like the first Child's Play, the original Child's Play is legitimately a good movie. Take the kills and what Chucky. Something that happens with a lot of horror franchises is the first films are always more serious, more like real movies. There's real scares to them, and then they quickly become kind of parodies of themselves.
Yeah.
And I think Child's Play 2, although is a fun and enjoyable movie, is kind of a parody of itself already.
Yeah.
And that's because you can only do that. You can only do like the reveal of a doll being evil like that. It's only scary one time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like once you already know all the tricks, you're just watching it because you want to see the kills and you want to see Chucky be funny, The first movie isn't like that, and this movie's not like that either. I think if you're ranking them as far as like what's legitimately a good movie, I think this is right after the original Child's Play.
Wow. Ooh. Okay, Abigail?
Well, I have to say that on a personal level, I think I would rank it after 2 and even possibly 3 when it comes to my enjoyment level. I would give this movie 6 out of 10 fucks. I just didn't love the way that, just being totally honest, I didn't love watching Chucky become evil and learn to become evil. I think that takes some of the like terror and scariness out of a monster or a villain when you see the like progression or the origin story. I like the idea of he's just evil because of voodoo, and there's that, but I guess it just wasn't my favorite thing to watch him watching horror movies. It felt almost preachy to me, and that could just be a personal take of how I felt about it. But I don't think that this movie was. I just didn't. It wasn't the Chucky that I like, which is more of a little asshole who's gonna be like, I like the one-liners, I like the cheese factor, I like the sequels, I think almost even more than the first one, which I know that I don't think that that's an opinion that everybody holds, and I think that the first movie is probably a better quality film and I would respect it more, but I enjoyed in my watching of the Child's Play movies over the whatever Halloween it was a couple years ago, I think I liked the sequels and enjoyed them more, and I think that with this movie, I couldn't get past a few things like the visual. I didn't love the way that Chucky looked in this movie. I like Mark Hamill. I found myself wanting him to be more was I think he only called Aubrey Plaza a bitch once, and I felt like there maybe would. I think maybe I was suffering from expecting him to be more like the original, but this was a very different departure, and I didn't hate this movie. I definitely enjoyed certain parts of it. I liked Aubrey Plaza's performance. Like, was it Brian Tyree Henry? Yeah, he's great from Atlanta. And I liked the kid all right. I did not like the kid's friends in this movie, and I'll let you take over now, Craig, but I think I felt a little bit back and forth on this movie. Certain parts really worked, certain parts just didn't work for me.
So I've thought about this a lot. I've got a lot of conflicted feelings about this movie because there's definitely... I'll give it credit that it's not like, you know how like the Nightmare on Elm Street reboot or the remake is just like clearly like, okay, this is second rate.
Unimaginative.
This is a worse Freddy.
It's Nightmare on Elm Street light.
Yeah, dude.
Right,
It's like
exactly.
the diet version.
And that's not what this is. But I mean, one thing that I've seen written about this week.
There were some fun kills in this movie. I'm just going to throw
There
that
was
out
some
there.
fun kills in this movie. And Jake, I'm interested to get your take on this. One take that I've been reading about, and I think this is kind of where I was leaning, is that this almost felt like a good enough standalone story that it didn't need to necessarily be Child's Play or Chucky. Like, because to me, Chucky is such a defined character. Like the look, the sound, the motivation, and when you remove that from the movie, it's like, to me, as a movie about a killer doll who with technology gone bad, I think it's pretty great and imaginative. But as a Child's Play movie and the character of Chucky, it fell short a little bit for me.
I don't agree with that at all. I think I do get what you're saying about, like, you know, the Child's Play movies are this is different. But I think that's what a reboot has to do sometimes to be a successful movie. If you play too close to the original, then you're just copying something. And what's the point of making something if you're just going to make the same fucking shit that we've already seen? Reboots and remakes are all weird territory with no rules, because sometimes they unexpectedly are like, oh shit, like that's pretty good. This is better than the original, or they're complete garbage. It's like it's a complete like crapshoot. There's no science to it. It takes all different kinds of, you know, things to make it turn out right. And the people that are saying like they shouldn't have called this Child's Play, it was so different that it could have been its own thing, I 100% call complete bullshit on that, because I think every one of those people, if this movie was called something different, every one of those people would come out of this movie saying, oh, what a fucking ripoff of Child's Play. It's a killer doll, like it kills. What a fucking, he's got a knife. It's a fucking ripoff. Fuck, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It can't be exactly the same, or it's the same fucking movie. I don't think it's the best movie ever made. I had issues with the way he looked in. So like the pictures they've been releasing have been kind of weird to me, because some pictures will be released and I'm like, oh, that looks really good. And then another picture will come out and I'm like, that looks like a completely different fucking thing, and that looks bad. And it's been almost every other picture since the very first picture that I remember when the first photo was released. I was like, holy crap, that looks better than Chucky has looked in the last few movies. And then, the next picture, I'm like, well, what is happening here? I don't understand. So I was nervous about that. But as soon as the movie started, and the movie starts off with that commercial for the toy, as soon as it started and I saw it on screen, I was like, okay, it looks different. It's a little weird, but it didn't bother me once I was seeing it, how it played on screen. I was like, it looks like a fucking toy, and it is a fucking toy. The Chucky looks so distinctive and cool in the original film is because he's becoming human. So the doll has this weird transition. All the pictures you see of Chucky, of how he looks in the original Child's Play, the voodoo curse that he's going through makes it where the longer he's in the body, the more human-like he looks, and his eyebrows start off painted on and turn into real hair, and he starts to bleed. And then, this movie is just a toy. It's just a toy, so it doesn't look the same. It doesn't need to look the same. I kind of particularly liked the stuff with Chucky kind of becoming evil. I thought it was a very fun and different take on that character, and I was like, I kind of felt bad for Chucky because he was the first half of the movie, when he's watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre and they're all laughing at it, which that movie is a very funny movie, and it makes sense to be laughing at those scenes, but watching a doll who has this weird conscience to it, and it's trying to figure out what's good, what's bad. That doll is just programmed to be the best doll it can be for its owner. And watching him watch the TV and all the kids are laughing at Leatherface cutting a person's face off, and watching Chucky be like, oh, this is what's normal. This is what's good.
This is how people have fun.
Then he cuts somebody's face off. He literally does what he sees, and I just thought that was all kind of fascinating.
God, what if they were watching Answer the Call? What would he have done? He would have just kicked him in the balls.
Dude.
He would have threw all the wontons away.
He would have hated coffee. Now that I hear the way you're talking about it, Jake, I give it merit.
No, stand your ground.
I know,
stand your ground.
I'm trying to think of the things that
we hated it. No, I'm just kidding.
Me necessarily.
Here's my thing. I've got conflict that I have is that I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, I hate remakes and reboots. I like them. Everything's going to get remade and revisited at some point. So I don't...
For sure.
I don't care about that. A lot of times they're not great. Sometimes they are. It's just the way it is.
Right.
I feel like if they would have if I could have bought in, I feel like the weakest part of the movie is the first 5 minutes. The guy who...
Yes, because I need pure evil. When it comes to Charles Lee Ray in the first movie and the curse, etc., him being a serial killer, that's pure evil. And when you see Chucky, that's how it feels to me. This is a learned... it feels, I don't want to say preachy, but it feels like it's oh, well, he's watching. Oh, well, that's not preachy because it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so I'm just watching the news.
I didn't feel...
You know what I mean?
I get that. It's hard to separate... I think the issue you guys are having is you're having an issue separating this movie from the original Child's Play.
Well, also, Jake,
the original Child's Play is what?
We're in a little bit of a different position too, because I did not hate the last one nearly as much as you did, and I think Curse of Chucky is the second best in the series. To me is insane. I think it's great.
I think Curse of Chucky, I think that is the legitimate worst movie.
No, wait, you're
in the series.
Oh, I'm sorry. Colt, whichever one's in the house.
The house
wait,
one, I was going to say.
Colt. Wait, no. That one is good. That one is good. That is Curse.
Good.
Colt is the best. We're getting mixed up. No, well, see, that movie is good. In that movie, Curse is closer to the original Child's Play.
Right.
And we've had this talk many times, I think, on the show and not on the show.
Of course, for the self-proclaimed number one Child's Play podcast.
The issue with the Child's Play franchise is 100% Don Mancini. He did create Chucky. He created it. But when he wrote the original script, it was bought from him, and it was 100% changed. Somebody bought his script, and they changed 99% of it.
Jake,
they rewrote it. They kept like the kind
created him.
What?
I said I thought Caslin created Chucky.
You're right.
Sorry.
But they I'm just going to give a brief history of Don Mancini's role here. He created it. He wrote it. They bought it from him. They rewrote it. They kept him on, I think, kind of as like a producer or something like that. And it was the same for the first couple of movies. They got to Seed of Chucky. This was the first time that Don Mancini had 100% control. The first time he was directing was Seed of Chucky, which is absolute garbage. Like, yeah, he created it, but he created all the worst, like all the best parts of Child's Play and Chucky were created by other people. And since Seed of Chucky, he has like kind of ran his own franchise into like he has like jumped from being completely silly, 100% a comedy, to back towards the roots, making it like the original, and then making the worst movie in the entire series. And that's why I have no hard feelings or like no remorse towards him when they're like, we're going to reboot this franchise.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
He's fucking killing it.
I've seen a lot of people like, oh, this is fucked up for, like, I don't care. Like that's not really on my radar. It's just, there's, I do want to see it again, because here's the thing. There's some really good gore from like a gore standpoint. There's some really good gore.
There's some funny stuff in it.
There's some funny stuff. There's some gore. There's some good kills. And I thought all the actors, like, modern horror is just, it's more well done, and it looks better. It's acted better. It's produced better than it used to be.
Yeah, there's more interest and money being thrown at it for sure than used to be.
And so they made
it does better now. It makes more money these days.
Like, this movie's not going to be like a giant. It's not going to be like it, but it's already going to make its money back, and it'll be like a modest success.
People seem to like it overall. Wasn't it getting a pretty decent?
Yeah, like like I've talked to a lot. Like, I did not hate it. My initial reaction was stronger than what it's been over the last couple days, because once you live with a movie in your head for a week or two, you can start processing it a little bit differently. And I thought Mark Hamill did a really good job for the role. I knew there was going to be one Star Wars joke. I think they could have done something better, but that's okay. And I think I did miss some of the humor. Like, Chucky's always been funny, and I think I could have used a little bit more balance of some of the humor with some of the gore, because the humor in this movie didn't really come from dialogue to me. It just came from...
It's fun to watch Chucky have fun. He's conflicted in this movie and is growing and becoming like conscious or evil. So I think it's more fun to watch him like full blown being evil.
I do want to see this movie again, and I feel like I want to watch the original before I go see it again. And I think you guys should too. I think something that happens a lot when there are franchises is sometimes people. I'm trying to think of a.
I know what you're going to say. It's like Freddy Krueger. People think he's like a wisecracking guy, but in the first one, he's not
in the original.
Right.
Child's Play is the same way. There is a little wisecracking, but the first Child's Play is not a funny movie. Like, there's a little bit here and there. I would have to go watch it again, but I feel like there's more funny stuff in this movie than there is in the original Child's Play. I felt like something I mentioned to you guys right when we came out of it is, to me, it felt I got some like Ultron vibes from it. To me, it felt the same. His motivation was very similar to like, you know, in Age of Ultron, Ultron is created to be like the ultimate good. And he's like, he like immediately is like, oh, well, the only way for there to be peace is to destroy the Avengers. And Chucky is kind of the same way. Like he's like, the only way to protect Andy is to kill everybody that Andy doesn't like.
Yeah.
You
Including
know,
the cat.
he
Dude, that part was scary.
and I mean, he uses, you know, Andy's own words. Like, you know, Andy says like, I wish this guy would go away or whatever. And Chucky's like, oh, well, that's what I guess this is what I should do. I thought all that was pretty cool. And it almost made like, I liked the first half of the movie better. I thought once they got to the store, it kind of slowed down. I feel like it could have had a better resolve than it did. There could have been maybe a cooler ending, or like, you know, they were just like, oh, we'll let's just rip Chucky's head off, and and that's it. It felt like he was pretty easy to kill once they got into the store. I don't think it was a perfect movie at all. I got a lot of issues with it.
I think that's the thing, like what you just said, like at the end of the day, it's just like there's no. And Jake, I'm actually a little bit surprised because like Jake, for those of you who don't know, you're the kind of person that if a movie has a monster or a paranormal aspect to it, like you're usually like on board like way more. And because like this was straightforward, like misprogrammed doll, it takes away a little bit of like the like supernatural spice.
There's no supernatural. Exactly. Yeah.
I think I like that aspect of Child's Play.
Yeah, I do too. I was surprised. Like I've kind of been since day one. I remember when we first talked about it on the show, when they announced a Child's Play remake, I was like, what is that going to be? And I have tried to keep a super open mind about it because I have definitely gone into remakes very recently. The Pet Sematary. I went into Pet Sematary so mad at things that I saw in the trailer and so upset about it. And I came out of it really liking that movie. And Child's Play, I mean, I don't know how many times we can say it. We are the #1 Child's Play podcast. We talk about it a lot. Even though I think that franchise has gone into the craziest places and really bad, I really love Chucky, and I really love Brad Dourif as Chucky. But I think something about the way they handled this version of the character, and something about the way I was not expecting to go into a movie and for Chucky to basically be the main character the first half. Like he's really completely in your face, and there's a lot of these weird little moments where Chucky doesn't know. Like in the beginning, he's not evil. He's not trying to be creepy. He's not trying to be scary. And there's like a couple scenes where he's like just standing at Andy's bed and like won't shut down. And Andy's like, hey, please go to sleep. And he's just right there in his face. He keeps it. And that stuff is like, it's kind of silly. It's kind of funny, but it's also really creepy. I thought the scene where Andy wakes up, this is after the cat has died. There's a scene where Andy wakes up because he hears his cat and he's like, what the fuck is happening? And in the corner of the room is Chucky just staring at him, and he's replaying the audio of the cat being killed.
Yeah, that was
and that's such a weird. I was like, that's a weird. It was legitimately creepy to me. It was disturbing. It reminded me of fucking Annihilation. It reminded me of the bear with the human voice. I was like, what the fuck? This is a weird thing that I'm watching in this movie. I thought that was just such a simple, weird, but fun scene. And I think stuff like that, and stuff like. During the first kill, the guy's head lands on like the yard gnome. It's like such a subtle, his like scalp. Did you guys catch that?
Yeah.
It's like such a subtle little silly thing. That kind of stuff. I was like, whoa, I'm into this. I fell in and out of certain things. I didn't like those other kids either.
Yeah. I liked the first half of the movie. I distinctly remember liking it and thinking it was going in a great direction until because I liked Andy being kind of a loner. Then he very quickly made those friends, and I kind of
it kind of felt like they were like, we need an ensemble of kids to make it like Stranger Things or something like that.
Dude, discount Stranger Things.
I agree. I felt like the kids were kind of shoehorned in there because that's the thing that makes money now. And then it also felt like when they get to the store and Andy like tricks them into being locked out of the store, I was like, oh, okay. So someone had to sit around in the writer's room and figure out a way to write these fucking kids out of the movie
it's
because
so
they're
dumb
pointless.
too, because it's like kids don't like having kids in your movie doesn't make money. Having good characters.
Yeah.
Right? So all the kids in Stranger Things are good characters. All the kids in It were good characters. These guys were not really good characters.
There's also like, I thought the girl could have been, she seemed to be the only kid other than Andy that seemed to like kind of her motivations made sense, and her.
Oh my god! Like, it just dawned on me who she reminded me of, the little girl from Richie Rich.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't know,
the skater girl from the movie.
I thought her character was the only one that seemed
memorable, motivated,
real. Yeah, because the other two. The other boy was kind of very annoying, and he seemed like so much like a fake. I was like, nobody is like that.
Nobody's
and
like
then
this.
And then the other kid who Andy like gets in the fight with and steals the phone and all that. Yeah. They like. I'm like, oh, okay, we set these two up to really hate each other, but like all of a sudden he's helping. It's just like it just seemed like those characters just seemed like they were just not well written at all. And go ahead.
I was just gonna talk about when he renamed Chucky Chode. I thought that was kind of funny.
That was kind of funny.
I thought like they could have used those kids a little better because they do get into a little bit of the territory where they're like, people start thinking Andy's the one that's killing people. And there's like one scene where the kids are like, oh, maybe it is Andy. Mm-hmm. And they could have used that a little better, but it was such a quick thing. And then those kids found out very soon after that it was Chucky. So it was like, well.
Yeah, there were some inconsistencies and some weird stuff, but ultimately I was entertained. And I was ready to. It's so hard for me. It really is, because like we take these things really seriously, like these kinds of movies, and like we've talked about it so much. I'll say this: in some ways, it was better than I was expecting, and probably better than it should have been, because it did have a sense of originality to it, which is something that you miss out on a lot with like. The fifth or sixth, seventh movie or a reboot or a sequel or whatever. But then there was still that part of me where to me, Chucky, the character is no, I'll put it this way. Even if they were to remake Nightmare on Elm Street again and it was really good and inventive, at the end of the day, I'm still going to miss Robert Englund to a certain extent, even if it's great. And I think once I move past that a little bit, I'll probably be able to appreciate it a little bit more. That's what I think.
Yeah, I get that. I completely get that. And that's one of the things I've always really loved Brad Dourif. And not like that dude is such a great actor, even not as Chucky. I've always thought that he doesn't get enough recognition for as good as an actor that dude is. And that is one of the things that I like. The main thing about Chucky is kind of his voice. So I was, Mark Hamill, I was like, you know what, I can get over it because Mark Hamill's a very good voice actor, but the voice thing was kind of handled in a different way too, because 90% of that movie, it's just like the doll's voice. He doesn't really start being creepy with his voice until the end of the movie. And I thought that was a very different way to approach it. Maybe not the best, but maybe it is the best, because maybe that's the only way to get out of
because you were either
Brad Dourif's like shadow.
Right, you were either going to get a Brad Dourif impersonation or just like a voice that is completely different. So I actually thought they handled that well, and I thought Mark Hamill did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.
Well, cool.
Hey, one other thing before we get off this. The score is amazing.
The score's good.
Bear McCready, or I think that McCreary, I'm not exactly sure how his last name is said. He scored Godzilla, and he also scored this, and he needs to be scoring everything at this point because both scores to these films are really good. And another thing that I've noticed that he's been doing is that if you listen to the soundtrack on Spotify, he has also remade the original Child's Play theme, and I'm sure it was. I'm not sure if it was in the movie at all, but there is like an updated version of the original theme, and I think it's really. He did the same thing for Godzilla. I think that's a really cool thing that he's doing, and that shows that he, respects these franchises that he's been, jumping into. His score is amazing.
I would watch a video of Don Mancini watching this movie just to see like how he dealt with I want to see his reactions. And I also can't wait till the next Child's Play, when the TV series or whatever the continuation is of Child's Play in the original universe. I cannot wait to hear what Chucky says about the new Chucky.
Right.
Yeah, they're gonna make some sort of dumb joke about that.
Mm-hmm.
He's stiffer than a Buddi doll. All right.
Oh, with his face.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right, cool. Well, listen, folks. It's time to get in on the Yes Have Some Fuck budget. Before we do that, we are going to tell you about Yes Have Some Group Therapy, the official Facebook group of Yes Have Some Podcast. Abigail, tell us about it.
It's so easy. All you have to do is log into Facebook, search for Yes Have Some Podcast, find our page, scroll down, you'll find group therapy. It will be an option for you to click. You should click it, and then myself, Craig, or Jake will accept you into our private little group of 500 and growing members at this point. It is a really special place where we can all talk about the things that we are buying and stressed about buying on eBay and how eBay works and all that fun stuff. So join up, guys. It's a good space. It's quality content, and we love you.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
All right, it's time for the Yes Have Some Fuck budget.
I don't give a fuck.
We'll do it live!
Fuck. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. We've been podcasting for 2 hours. Ba-ba-da-ba-da.
The Yes Have Some Fuck budget, where we have 5 topics in the stratosphere, the realm of Yes Have Some. I'm going to quit calling it pop culture.
Realms.
Well, I think Yes Have Some sphere, people know what that is, right? People know the stuff we talk about. And,
Yes Has sphere.
The Yes Have sphere.
Mm-hmm. The Yes Hemisphere? Okay, no.
Wait a minute. There's something there.
Mm-hmm.
What we're going to do is break down 5 topics that Jake and Abigail have to tell us how many fucks they give about. They each have 10 fuck bucks to spend. They cannot spend more than the 10 that are allocated for the fuck buck session. And I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to allocate those fuck butts. There's no fuck buck credit card. Fuck budget.
You said fuck butts. You see, I said that once and you called me out on it, so I'm just going to call you out on it.
All I'm saying is that the fuck budget is here. It's happening now. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Jacob?
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh.
Hey.
Hey. Number 1.
Oh, so are you?
This is not 100%. This is not 100% confirmed yet, but the rumors are running rampant, and there might have been a little bit of an information leak about Ghostbusters having a haunted house at Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando as well as Hollywood. Jacob Walsh, when it comes to the Ghostbusters Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios, how many fucks do you give?
0. I'm just kidding.
I just sounded so sad.
I gave it 5 fucks because I love Universal Studios and I love Ghostbusters, and fucking Horror Nights has become a Yes Have Some tradition, and it's very fun and it's amazing, and it's just like one of the best. It's something that I have been, it's something I've looked forward to every year at this point, now that we're going to that. And for them to have an official Ghostbusters presence back at Universal Studios where they used to have the ride, it feels so good. And it makes me feel so good about Ghostbusters. And I watched that video where the guy was talking about how they found out about the leak, where they saw the picture, and I hate him because he's like Ghostbusters is dumb for a horror house. It's a kids movie. It's not scary. That's not gonna work. 5 fucks.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work.
Dude, I hate that guy. I also give this 5 fucks. Me too. I gave it 5 fucks because I feel like we started this rumor several years ago.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
It's something I've been talking about and asking for so long. I'm very, very excited if this is true. I feel like it is true. There's been enough sources reporting things, goings on, etc. So I want to know how many times we're going to do this house when we go there, because now we're into like breaking records.
57.
Yeah, 57. Also, I hope people don't show up like in their uniform with their proton packs.
They will try. They're not going to let proton packs into.
They better not. I think there will actually be proton packs on the people who are working inside of that.
Yeah,
house.
and we're not going to get into the details of that, but I have a feeling they're going to look pretty good.
Yeah.
And listen,
think so.
the thing about Universal and Horror Nights is, in general, they do a really good job. Like, there's always, out of the 6 or 7 houses, they're always all at least good. Sometimes they're great. Sometimes you get like the Poltergeist house last year that was like amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think about that house.
So I know that there's a like overall an 80s theme going on with Horror Nights this year. It's the 35th anniversary of Ghostbusters. Obviously, it's not 100% confirmed yet, but I am so excited about this because I'm just like, Ghostbusters has so much iconography.
Is there, just not to be like devil's advocate or to like think about the possibility of it being a bummer, but is there any chance this won't be a house? It would only be like a dance experience or something that would be very disappointing.
It's possible that it could be just a scare zone.
Yeah.
From what we've heard, though, it's probably going to be a house.
Okay, cool.
And I think
probably.
With such a big property, I think it would be a shame to waste it on a scare zone. You know, and I think Ghostbusters translates better to a house, right? Because like you could do the Sedgwick, you could do Gozer's Temple, you could do
there's enough different rooms.
Data's apartment,
you could do all of them literally.
Dude, look, the refrigerator open.
Yeah.
Are these the eggs? There's so much you could do, and then you've got people wearing proton packs and Slimer, Stay Puft. Maybe there's some stuff from Ghostbusters too. Like the possibilities are kind of endless. So I'm very excited. Obviously, once the official announcement is made, we will be all over it, getting all the deets. And maybe we need to do like a big YHS theme park meetup and get a bunch of listeners to go with us down to
that'd be cool.
Universal.
How do we figure? How do we cut the ribbon? How do we actually tie a ribbon around it and then get the job to cut it? Even if we go like the last week, we're bringing a ribbon. Okay, tying it and then cutting it. Good.
All right, cool. You guys ready to move on?
Yes.
Yep.
I'm excited about this one because I can't wait to hear what you guys think.
You might be the only one.
Hey.
That's true.
The reboot of the reboot. The 3rd season of Scream, which was announced a couple years ago. The 3-boot. This was Scream, the television show, which had no direct connection to the movies and did not even use the original Scream mask or costume. The 3rd season was delayed, rebooted, and retooled. So now the reboot of the show has nothing to do with the first 2 seasons and still has nothing to do with the movie. But they have the original mask back, and they've got, what's his name?
Paris Jackson.
No. Yes. But that's not who does the voice of Ghostface. Roger
Jackson.
Dude, they've got Paris Jackson. They've got Roger Jackson. It's going to be on VH1. It's going to be a 3-night event, 2 hours each episode. It looked like Scream, kind of, to me in the preview, but we're going to break this down. Abigail, when it comes to the Scream 3-boot...
0 fucks.
Oh...
I didn't even wait. I just don't give it any fucks. I don't care. I did watch the other, like, the originals of the show. I feel like, although I know Jake doesn't even like the sequels to Scream, the films, I kind of like them. I like Scream 2 and the 3rd one as well. But this TV series sounds very convoluted, very confusing, and it's switched from MTV to VH1, and I'm just not a fan of, like, MTV or VH1 scripted shows. And I just have no interest in this, so 0 fucks. Not gonna watch it. It's cool that they got the original voice back.
Dang.
I still
0 fucks.
0.
Shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Deal with it.
Jake, how many fucks?
I also give it 0 fucks.
I did go acting all upset.
It looks awful. It looks awful. It's a dumb idea. I think the first Scream movie is a masterpiece. It's amazing. The sequels are fun for a watch here and there, but I don't think they're anywhere near as good as the first. I didn't watch the show. I might watch this. It looks awful. It's not gonna be written by the same people. It's not like it looks like a weird PG kid version of Scream, and I don't really want anything to do with it.
Yeah, but tell us how you really feel.
Craig, are you excited about it? Let's hear what you going. You sounded bummed when Abby said 0.
I'm a sucker for, I'm always the person who thinks, guys, what if it's really good, though? What? I know it looks bad, and it sounds bad, and it smells bad, and when I hear about it, that's bad. All my senses say it's bad.
But what if
I'm wrong? I'm glad that Ghostface is back. That's at least something. And what if they reveal that it's tied to the movies, and it's Billy Loomis? I didn't kill anybody, Sid.
Those all sound great, but it all is going to come down to the execution of the film. I mean, it is cool that they're bringing back the Scream mask and that Roger is back doing the voice. That is cool. But I don't know. That trailer just looks fucking bad. Yeah. It just looks bad.
It was some bad stuff.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, I felt weird about it.
Wow, I guess you guys don't care that Paris Jackson lost her father.
Oh. It's
moving on. In this fuck budget next week, Stranger Things is back.
That's next week?
Yeah. And I feel like I don't even know. I feel like when Stranger Things season 2 was about to hit, there was just you could feel it in the air. Everybody was talking about it. Now it's been 2 years. There's no Ghostbusters tie-in other than Finn Wolfhard, who's going to be in the new Ghostbusters. When it comes to Stranger Things, season 3, you've seen the trailers. Abigail, Jacob. Who's going first? Jake? Jake.
Yes.
How many fucks do you give?
I gave it 2 fucks. I'm excited. I think my excitement level has actually come up a little bit because I did not love season 2 of Stranger Things. I had a lot of big issues with it, and when it was done, I was just like, all right, cool. I just didn't care. There were probably a few episodes that I just did not like at all. Overall, season 2 was kind of a bummer to me. But the trailers for this season look really good to me, and it looks fun again. And not that the last season didn't have fun stuff in it, but I feel better being a little far away from season 2, and the trailer looks fun. There's monsters, and it's all the same shit. So I don't know. I'm excited. I gave it a 2 mainly for the fact that I have other fucks to give here and there. But I'm not counting the days down or anything. But I'm definitely gonna watch it. Probably the day it comes out.
Yeah, I feel you. However, I'm going to give this 1 fuck rather than 2, which I'm surprised you gave it more fucks than me. I didn't love the second season, but my 1 fuck is going directly to Finn Wolfhard because of my added interest because of Ghostbusters 2020, and I just like to get excited and envision what else I don't know. You know how it is. You Dreamcast things. Yeah. So I care for certain characters on the show. I didn't like Eleven's storyline in the last season, so maybe they can turn that shit around. I thought that the trailer looked really good, and it had some neat vibes Fast Times, and all the kids are kind of growing up, so there's going to be some different.
Somebody, the kid who plays Lucas, somebody at work was like, he's got himself a goatee now. Here's the thing about Stranger Things. I think we all got a little overhyped with season 2. Maybe it didn't deliver like we thought it would, but they've had more time for this one. I do really like the vibe and the trailers, and there is some good stuff in season 2. I have a feeling I have a feeling a week from now we're all gonna have watched the first couple episodes and we're gonna go, guys, the show is good. Yeah. Or we're gonna be like, guys, I'm so happy the Duffer Brothers are not doing the new Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah. I know.
I think Jason is the right man for the job.
Yeah, we know that.
Anyways, I'm aware. Cool. I'm excited.
I've been saying I'm aware a lot more.
Hey, and listen. Stranger Things, it's weird. There's a lot of merchandise and stuff. I've never gone down that road. I do have the Ghostbusters Stranger Things figures. What if it's so good that I'm like, guys, I walk in, I'm wearing an 11 dress.
Yeah.
Holding a waffle.
Dude, you got that mug that's on clearance at Target with what's his name on it? Samwise Gamgee.
I love what's his name. Guys, remember that first year? Remember that first year at Dragon Con?
Yeah.
When like Stranger Things had just come out and it was...
Oh my God. It was
hold on.
perfect timing.
It was like...
Nothing had been released.
It was like, oh, Stranger Things just came out. Dude, I wonder if anybody's going to have a Stranger Things costume. And then you went there and you're like, oh, there's 1,000 11s.
Yeah.
There's 1,000 people.
11 was the Joker, the Dark Knight Joker was the Dark Knight Rises
Deadpool.
Bane.
Dude, we're going to have to.
Deadpool, yep.
Of course. We're going to have to.
She's on the list.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have to do an episode.
Ooh, Dragon Con lineup, like a police lineup, but with all the most famous costumes. That's
We'll
an
have to
idea
go
to
by
have for a
year.
t-shirt.
So who do you think's going to be this year?
I was hoping, Craig, you were going to say we're going to have to do an entire episode where we're all try to talk in the Bane voice.
Oh, okay. I'm also Mad Max.
Crashing this plane.
Oh.
That's the only quote I remember.
Like that.
Wait, real quick, little side note. What will be the big costume this year?
Okay, realistically, Captain Marvel is something
there's
I'd
gonna be a
throw
lot
out, but
of
it's kind
those.
of difficult. I initially, when I saw Us, I was like, oh, everyone's gonna do the red suits, but like,
But that shit's kind of died
that
out.
shit's kind of dead. So
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd have to think.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, obviously, Avengers, like, you'll see various Marvel characters, but it's not like there's a very specific thing, like Jake was just talking about. Like, that one year,
There's always one
Everybody
where
was
there's
huge.
just like
Oh, I
100
fucking know
of
what
the
it.
same.
Sorry, everybody. I just realized. The Big Lebowski Thor. I think we'll probably see a lot of that.
Yeah. It's going to be that.
Yeah,
there's
we'll
going to
see
be a
that.
million
God
of
damn
those.
it.
lot of
I'm
that.
not going.
Yeah,
Fat
I'm
Thors,
selling my.
yeah.
Never mind, I'm the guest. I have to go. We're guests. Tune the horn. You gotta toot the horn. Oh my god.
All right.
What's on this list?
I'm not going to be on the panel this year. Let's see.
Yes, you're going to be.
You're like, Abby, you've been replaced.
You
Go
keep
get
calling
lost.
it a panel. It's a live.
It's a live podcast. I'm sorry. Your podcast.
But it is a panel.
But it's
All right. Next up.
has no place on this panel.
I'll be like, have a come to die with her. No, I have nothing.
Oh, and I'll be like this. Where do they get those wonderful toys? And I'll be talking about the toys in the next part of the fuck budget because
5 stars.
today, Diamond Select announced there's going to be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Citizen Ghost Spectral Ghostbusters Real Ghostbusters 6-pack. You get the 4 Ghostbusters in the khaki suits slimed with the ecto glowing skin from the Real Ghostbusters. You also get a variant Stay Puft from Diamond Select with an angry face and a translucent blue terror dog. I'm not saying it all makes sense, but what I'm asking is, when it comes to the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive from Diamond Select Toys, Abigail, how many fucks do you give?
I'm giving this 2 fucks because that's how many I decided to give to it. I think they're very cool looking, and yeah, I like them. I want to know more about them. This is I also really liked the Chronicle Real Ghostbusters, the statues. So these are also neat. These can move and they're articulated, so I'm into that. Think that the terror dog looks good. Is there a terror dog that's from the Real Ghostbusters, or what is the deal with that?
Okay, maybe I'm a bad fan. Maybe they referenced the terror dogs at some point, but I was thinking I've seen the Citizen Ghost episodes a lot. I don't recall there being a terror dog. Now, if I'm wrong and people want to yell at me, that's fine. This is our podcast.
Yeah.
I could say whatever I want. I could be wrong. I'm gonna look it up right now. How many fucks did you give it?
I gave it 2 fucks.
All right, Jacob.
I gave it 3 fucks. These Diamond Select figures they're fun. I like the Diamond Select figures overall. And yeah, like these are just repaints of the real Ghostbuster figures, but it's cool because they're from a specific episode. It's the one episode that really ties the movie into the cartoon, and the packaging is really fun and really cool. And it's just like, you don't get a whole lot of like, it's a 6-pack. Like, that's cool. Like, the fact that there's a Ghostbusters 6-figure box set basically getting put out with real Ghostbusters packaging, that's really fun to me. And I'm immediately stressed, wondering if it's going to be available to me, like if I'm going to be able to get to this. Did I correctly see that it's going to be available at GameStop or either on GameStop's website?
So it's $120. I just looked it up. The Terror Dogs did make an appearance in an episode of Real Ghostbusters called Egon's Ghost, but not in the Citizen Ghost episode. But of course, I want 2 Terror Dogs. I mean, I got to buy 2 of these sets.
Yeah.
It says a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, but it also says only at GameStop. So usually what happens, a lot of times GameStop will get in the, like, Funko will do San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, but you'll also be able to find them at GameStop, and it'll say, like, convention exclusive. I have a feeling if it says available at GameStop that maybe these will become available. But listen, I like these figures. And it's never been a better time to be a Ghostbusters fan.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to be at GameStop day one, either ordering them online. Somebody already messaged us saying that they could help us out getting them at Comic-Con if needed.
Okay, cool.
And I really think, like, if you look at the landscape of Ghostbusters right now, right? We just talked about the possibility of Halloween Horror Nights. The remastered score is out, and it's incredible. The video game is being remastered and released on the next-gen systems, including Nintendo Switch. My favorite game to play on Switch right now is Rocket League, and now I'm an Ecto-1, and every time I score, Stay Puft comes out of the goal. It's just cool. It's an amazing time to be a Ghostbusters fan. So I'm freaking out a little bit here, but I'm excited about these figures, and I'm glad that you guys are excited too.
I'm stressed.
Yeah.
Dude, this was...
I'm stressed.
People... I'm stressed that GameStop won't have them when you go to get them.
I'm stressed about that.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. I'm stressed about that, and I'm stressed that, like... we were talking about the Maddie collector figures and how we both basically have that entire series, and I don't have a lot of the Diamond Select figures. I like them. I know a lot of people prefer the Maddie figures, and maybe I do too. I'm not sure. I think the Maddie collector and the Diamond Select both have pluses and minuses. It's hard for me to pick like a favorite. But the fact is that, like, the Diamond Select have been harder for me to collect, and I don't have a store in my area that carries them. You know, I was able to get some of them from Toys R Us when it was still open, but they were the ones without the bait. It's just like there's so many of them. I got so far behind so quick that it's like I only have a few. And now I'm stressed about these because I want these, and I'm like, well, maybe I want to try to get that whole set now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm scared.
I'm very upset. The diorama they did with the firehouse is great. I'm looking at it right now. And the Real Ghostbusters Slimer they did was great. And, like, listen, we don't know what the future, like, this might be the last stuff that they do with the Diamond Select line, because there's also rumors going around about, other toy companies possibly. Like, they haven't even announced anything for the new movie next year. Like, what toy company is doing the figures? Is it going to be Mattel? Could it be Hasbro? Could it be NECA? Like, we don't know. But I'm just it all feels surreal. Like, all the stuff happening in Ghostbusters right now feels like the stuff we've been, like, talking about forever. I mean, even the video game being remastered and being released, that was GhostbustersNews.com. That was their April Fool's joke this year. Like, that's how unrealistic it was. And now it's happening. We did one too. That's not going to happen. So anyways.
No.
And if anybody's watched the Ghostbusters 2 commentary, we need to talk about that on a bonus episode.
Yeah, that's a bonus.
All right, cool. I
haven't watched it yet. I got to check it out.
Well, I got to watch it. Maybe we'll do a watch along.
Don't even start talking about it. It will never stop.
All right. Next up, last part of the fuck budget here. We're having fun. I know I am.
Oh, there's another.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I feel like this one's going to be tough on everybody because it involves two things. One of them we love and one of them we don't love. There is a rumor that on the short list of candidates to play Batgirl in the upcoming Batgirl movie, because apparently there's a Batgirl movie still being made.
Yeah.
This was the one that originally was going to be done by Joss Whedon, and then Justice League came out, and then they were like, maybe not.
Yeah.
Daisy Ridley Rey Skywalker herself. I'm just gonna start calling her that.
Do it.
I'm gonna will that into existence.
Start the rumor, yeah.
I'm gonna record a bunch of different versions of this so we can go back and edit it. All right, Rey Kenobi herself, Rey Kanata, Rey Calrissian,
Rey Solo,
Rey Solo, and of course my favorite, Rey the Hutt.
God.
Anyways, Rey, Daisy Ridley.
Watto doesn't have a last name, so I can't.
Yes, he does not.
What Rey?
Isn't it Grotto?
Ray of the Grotto.
Rey, she's a new
Lucky man.
She's a new Jedi. I like how Jedi mind trick works on everybody in existence except for Watto. Your tricks don't work on me, stupid Jedi.
Right.
I would watch a Watto spinoff.
Yeah.
Me too.
No, it's like Pawn Stars.
funny.
No, it's like counting cars.
Pawn Stars.
No, it's like Pawn
Stars.
Stars. People come in and try to sell shit to Watto. Video Bob comes in to try to sell a DeLorean to Watto.
And he just tells him how it's not worth.
These parts are recasted.
And if you don't make a deal, you become an indentured servant.
Yes. He's a be a pod racer. He's a making me money. I don't even know if that's a good Watto impression.
I think it is.
Yes.
Mama, Papa.
Is Daisy Ridley going to play Batgirl, and how many fucks do you give? Abigail?
Oh my God. I gave this one fuck because if you've been keeping score, I only have one fuck left to give.
I have.
Yes, I think I read in this article that this was part of the rehabilitation of the DC world, which I just like that idea that it's going through that much. I would totally watch Daisy Ridley as Batgirl. I would totally buy into that. But I don't love DC movies, so it's kind of a conflicting thing. I don't know if her portrayal in a really good, as Barbara Gordon or whichever iteration of Batgirl, because there are several versions of Batgirl, I don't know if it would turn the DC, franchise around.
Well, I think the thing is I think the Joker movie is completely separate from all of it. Let's not even talk about that. Mm-hmm. But I feel like this Birds of Prey movie is getting some buzz, and Suicide Squad. I feel
this is the same person who's writing this movie apparently did the Birds of Prey. And
some images came out of Harley Quinn today, and
did Bumblebee as well.
All right, never mind. It's gonna suck. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't seen Bumblebee.
Me neither.
I don't know. Jake. Well, before we close out with this discussion, how many fucks do you give?
0.
Okay, cool. Now Jake doesn't care. Could Daisy Ridley be a good Batgirl? I'm sure. But, I think a lot of people could be a good Batgirl. The question is, are they making a good Batgirl movie?
That's the question. Because you've talked about this before, that, an actor or an actress or whatever can't on their own just carry a franchise. Only Tom Cruise. He's the only one who can do it.
Maybe Tom Cruise will play Batgirl.
If Daisy Ridley wants to come off of the biggest trilogy that's happened since fucking
Star Wars,
the original Star Wars trilogy.
Wreck.
If she wants to be the savior of the Star Wars universe and be really amazing and great as Rey, and then immediately fucking throw it in the trash for a DC film, that's her business. That's what she wants to do. Sure. I hope DC, is getting their shit together. I really do. I will still go see the DC films. I did not see Shazam, but I wanted to. It wasn't something I passed on because I just didn't want to see it. I sincerely think they have a huge fucking problem, and all their movies have been just very bad. I hope they're getting over that. I hope that it's great, and I hope she's great in it. But they don't have a good track record, and it's I don't think I just can't give a fuck about that.
Yep.
There he goes. There you go.
I gave one fuck because I gave a fuck about Daisy Ridley, and I think Batgirl's I'm into her.
Yeah, I think she'd be great. Yeah. I do something you said, Abby, makes me laugh. You said that they're going through a rehabilitation.
They're in rehab.
I wonder if DC they have a token, a little coin they get.
5 years since
Whenever
our last bad movie.
The next movie comes out, it's gonna be one movie.
Yeah.
This is the second movie. All right, two movies.
They're all in a room. They're all in a room. They're looking at like the DC executive. They're like, or from Warner Brothers. They're like, tell us your story. And he's
Dude,
like,
every time they get up there, they tell the Wonder Woman story because it's the only good one.
oh yeah.
They're talking about. They're always talking about. Fuck it. And then I was reading the script. And it just fucking said Martha.
No. They talk about how Wonder Woman was like, yeah, I had some good days, like Wonder Woman, and then I relapsed with Justice League and really went off the deep end with Aquaman.
Oh man.
And
dude.
James Gunn is my sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, I don't know, man. Like, okay, here's my hot take for the day. There is no way that James Gunn is making a bad Suicide Squad movie. It's gonna be good as fuck. But will that be in? It doesn't seem like going forward from what I was reading the other day. DC is keeping everything separate and have no interest in building out a universe, which fine. Just make good movies. I've heard Shazam is good. I can't judge it. I have a feeling it's not as good as people have told me because I don't trust people.
People told me Wonder Woman was amazing too, and I don't think it was. So it's hard.
You know, ever since you watched Age of Ultron on that plane, you've changed.
Yeah.
Jake's becoming Ultron. The only way to save the cinematic universe.
You don't want to change. That was my Ultron voice. It was bad.
Yes.
Vision.
All right. Viz. Yeah.
Hey, are we gonna go see this Avengers re-release, or do we care?
What?
What?
They're re-releasing Avengers with extra
I'm gonna
footage.
say we don't care.
Okay. I guess we don't.
Reaction.
Like in a delete. I don't know. Doing something. Well, listen, guys. Here's the situation.
I like the people that are surprised that there's that Spider-Man Homecoming's coming out because they thought that Endgame was the last Marvel movie.
Oh yeah, that's funny. Yeah. I thought that was it.
I thought that was the end.
Spider-Man comes out Tuesday, as well as Midsommar. So we've got some movies to see next week.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Spider-Man and Midsommar are going to be very similar, like, thematically.
Definitely.
Stop
Same
it.
level.
Like, I might mix them up. Like, I might come out of Midsommar and be like, Jake Gyllenhaal was great. No, I'm excited because, like, Hereditary was one of my favorite movies last year, and I'm excited to see that director's follow-up. I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I was talking to... oh, no, you just told that story. I'm losing my mind. We've been podcasting all night. I'm done.
You were going to tell the Homecoming?
Yeah, I was going to tell
Home?
Well,
Wait,
no.
am I saying it fucking Far From Home?
There was a Spider-Man 2 Far From... There was a... There was a situation yesterday where some autograph hounds were freaking out and like they had this girl pressed up against a cage and she couldn't breathe, and Tom Holland came up and saved her.
What?
And was like, there's video. He's like, I will throw your shit on the ground if you don't back up.
Oh my God.
It was awesome.
Was she trying to get an autograph?
Yeah, but
why
she
was
was
there a cage?
So a lot of times at like TV shows and stuff, they set up a rail.
Okay.
And like she was just a fan trying to get an autograph. The guys behind her were like insane autograph hunters who were trying to get 5 or 6 things signed a piece.
Yeah. And so Tom Holland.
Tom Holland saved
I
the
wish
day.
he'd been there in the FanFest room when we were all being pushed up against the wall.
I need Tom Holland to save me from a William Atherton. No, William Atherton's a great guy. He's a great guy. I like it.
No, just from the chaos.
From the chaos. All right, everybody. We covered a lot of ground tonight. Thank you for being with us on this wild ride.
Yeah.
And if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to Yes Have Some Podcasts wherever you get your podcasts. That's iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube. Wherever you can listen to a podcast, you're going to find us. And please, if you like what you're hearing, leave us that 5-star review on iTunes. We love hearing what you think about the show. We've already told you about group therapy. We told you about Patreon, but I got to tell you about YHS on social media at YHS Podcasts. I like how you're like a hype man.
Do it. You guys can't see the dance moves I've got.
At YHS Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. And of course, YHSpodcast.com is a good hub for all of it.
Amen.
Any final thoughts before we sign off?
Dude, can't wait for Dragon Con. Gonna see you guys there, so you better be at our panel or I'll just quietly resent you.
It's 2.5 months from now.
Can't wait.
Jake, anything?
Let's go see Child's Play again.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Give it another shot.
I'd give it another shot. All right.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, for Abigail Gardner and Jacob Walsh, My name is Craig Goldberg, and I hope to God nobody makes one of those AI bots from our voice. Did you guys hear the Joe Rogan thing? Somebody made, some company or some group, they fed hours and hours and hours of Joe Rogan audio into an AI bot and then made basically their own Joe Rogan podcast.
Whoa.
And it's insane. It is
just a
that's
word
crazy.
salad of all the other things he
Can
said.
you does it sound weird or?
It sounds like if you didn't know, you'd be like, "Wait, what is this?" This like, it's
you could kind of tell something's up with it.
I'll tell you what, we're a couple years away from chaos.
Oh God! Replaced?
You mean Terminator?
Oh, yes,
Dude,
O.J. Simpson.
Shit.
That's a Patreon reference. You don't
owe
get
me
it.
a Dr. Pepper.
You owe me a dark berry. Bye, everybody.
Bye.